be a brief update, and I apologize. I know a lot of people want more Cast Media, Colin Thompson Podcast 1 updates, but due to the status of our ongoing litigation, we have to be a little silent about things now, but I can say a few things. One, we have a jury trial in 2027. They fought us on it. They did not want there to be a jury. We have a jury trial in 2027. Stephen P. New just beat the New York Times and their vast legal team and the incredible amount of money they could throw at their legal team. He is I'll just say he's very ready and very confident for Podcast 1 and Colin Thompson. And the only other thing I could say, because this is a public filing, you may remember we were very involved in the bankruptcy of Cast Media. Cast Media's bankruptcy plan was finally approved by Judge Martin Barish, despite our legal team explaining pretty explicitly how the plan couldn't work, how the money won't be there, how the projections were bullshit, etc., etc. Well, as of the July 15th quarterly report, because there's supposed to be quarterly checks to creditors, the check didn't come because Cast Media can't pay its bills once again. They're behind on, $25,000 behind delinquent on their legal fees for the bankruptcy to Leslie Cohn. They don't owe the trustee any money. Who else do they owe money to? They owe the IRS $13,000 right now they're delinquent on, $2,000 to the city of Los Angeles.
This is all public record, by the way.
Oh, yeah. $23,000 behind to Class 3 creditors. And, of course, claims that things will be better. It's only going to get worse. This is exactly what we told the judge would happen, and this is exactly what's happening, so stay tuned for more on the Cast Media bankruptcy. But we are very happy and very confident and thoroughly looking forward to our jury trial in California against Colin Thompson and against Podcast 1, who you talk about just sitting back and letting someone punch themselves in the head and just you'll wait until they're done. We can't wait. I wish it was a 2026 jury trial. It'll be in 2027, and it's going to be a party.
Is there an attorney? I was just going to say, is there an attorney in the state of California that has not already been retained by Cast Media and then bid them adieu in some fashion?
Well, more Podcast 1. That's more of a Podcast 1 issue. It'll be interesting to see. I don't want to go into too much stuff right now other than to say it'll be very interesting to see who are the final lawyers on this case.
They can't field a team. He can't field a fucking team. Just come out and say it. He can't even field a fucking team to go out in the outfield and try to catch some of these fucking balls that are being winged at him.
Well, again, he's still fielding a team, Colin Thompson, but his team may have issues of their own, and then the Podcast 1 team keeps changing their entire roster. We can't wait for this trial. Ladies and gentlemen, 2027 is going to be the year of the Jim Cornette experience. We can't wait for this fucking trial.
And I just, maybe they can get the Savannah Bananas to come in and field that team, or they can be the representation.
We're looking to bring Vince Russo in to throw out the golden banana to start the trial. We feel like it'll be a fitting way to start the trial, actually.
Poor Colin. He actually thought we were just going to get discouraged.
He didn't realize how much money there was. He didn't realize how we fight. He didn't realize that.
He didn't realize that this story is going to be so good for us to tell in public, if you will, after it's all over with, that he'll never be able to show his face outside some fucking far off island in the South Pacific where he goes to nurse his wounds.
All we've had to do is talk about his actual behavior and his actual words and his actual conduct. That's the beauty of it. We haven't had.
And he keeps giving us more of all of those.
So we finally got another update on the Podcast 1 lawsuit that Jim Cornette is doing. I also believe that Theo Vaughn might be suing Podcast One. Now, Schaub and Adam Carolla signed a new deal with Podcast One. Schaub signed a $1.1 million deal, $350,000 of that to be paid in stock. Now, the last deal he signed with Podcast One was for $1.6 million, and $850,000 of that was to be paid in stock that he's not able to sell right away. The reason why they are structuring the deal that way is, like Jim Cornette says, these guys don't actually have the money to even pay off some of their lawyers and bankruptcy fees because they are losing. So Podcast One, which used to be Cast Media run by Colin Thompson, ripped off a bunch of podcasts. This is the reason why Theo Vaughn stopped working with Schaub and left the King and the Sting podcast. Remember, Theo had already moved to Nashville, but was still doing the podcast with Schaub and was going to continue to do so until this all went down and Schaub took the deal because Schaub needed the money. He needed the money. Oh, and Theo didn't, and Theo went on a huge rant. So we are going to get a jury trial in 2027, and I guarantee you that Schaub is going to be called as a witness. I am of the belief that Podcast One, why would they give Schaub a deal even though he brings literally nothing to the table and generates no money? They're going to need people to testify in their favor that, no, I got a good relationship with Podcast One and they pay me and stuff like that. So, like, Adam Carolla will probably be called to testify, but Schaub probably will too. This is probably why they keep giving this redact a deal. And it's a terrible deal. I mean, Schaub has to lie about it and go, biggest deal of my career ever. Even though we just heard from Jim Cornette that this company, like, has no money left. But he has to lie even though we have the paperwork. It's $500,000 less. He signed a $1.1 million deal for 3 years, and $350,000 is in stock that he can't immediately sell off. Terrible. And it's the same percentage stock deal if you think about it, because remember the first deal that was $1.6 million, $850,000 of that was in stock. You think it's a coincidence that $500,000 less deal, $850,000 in stock, than $350,000 in stock? So pathetic you have to lie about that, but I guarantee you he gets called as a witness. But I mean, this isn't going to end well for Podcast One anyway. This whole, we're trying to do a podcast empire thing, but they're just some rando company being run by that guy, Colin Thompson, who just took everybody's money and went and, like, built houses and shit like that. And I think the reason why Carolla took the deal, if you remember, that they are paying Carolla a lot more money than Schaub. But I would bet the same parameters. But you have to remember, Carolla was going through that divorce. So he might have needed some cash. That's why Carolla took the deal. Schaub took the deal because, he's just going completely broke and just needs anything and to be able to point to something to justify why he does what he does. But I'm looking forward to this trial in 2027. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.